after a few years of marriage, you know, when you're up to your neck and small kids and you have hectic schedules, relationships can get a little stale. Not what I meant to say.
Okay, joining us today after that intro is marriage and family counselor Tyler Patrick with ways to keep your marriage exciting and fulfilling. Libby, would you
There's
like
none
to
of that
ask our
happening,
first
apparently.
question? Okay, so let's just get started.
Keep it fun. Let's talk.
Let's talk about the spouses. You know, is Twitter pated an official counseling term?
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Let's think about when you very first met your spouse. You remember those feelings and what that felt like, and we call that Twitter pated in a sense. And what's really going on is that there's a bunch of chemicals going on in the brain. Research has shown that it's like being hyped up on cocaine. And
really?
Physiologically, the same types of drugs in the brain, the natural drugs, are being released. And what happens is that over the course of time, those feelings can last generally on their own from 3 to 7 years, and that's why you hear like the divorce rates being the highest in that period of time, because people have that wear off. Okay. And then they think, oh, I just fell out of love. I don't love them anymore.
Because they're not getting those juices going.
That kind of natural twitterpation is gone.
So when you get to that point, I've heard some people describe it as living together, living apart, where you know there's all this stuff going on with kids, and there's work, and there's all kinds of responsibilities, and you're together and you love each other, but it's almost like you're two ships passing in the night. How do you avoid that?
Right. Yeah, that's pretty common because life is just hectic. I mean, we get busy with things that are important: finances, jobs, kids. Those are all important things. Life. But what happens is that one of the most important things, which is our relationship, gets neglected. We don't spend
put on the back burner.
Yeah, we just figure, hey, I've already got this person. They're already committed. Like,
I've got a diaper to change.
I've got to change diapers. I got to cook dinner. I got to do something else. And what happens is we lose the feeling of the substance out of our relationship, and then you're stuck with that feeling of passing in the night.
So what are some good tips on a couple who are a few years into their relationship? How do they keep that spark going? Okay,
yeah, a couple of ideas. One is really to make a weekly date night. You hear it all the time. But most people don't do that because either I have kids and I don't want to pay a babysitter every week, or I'm busy with work, or we both work different jobs.
Different schedules.
And really think about where you invest your time and effort, and we probably spend more time getting our oil changed every month in the car than we do putting into our marriage.
That is very sad.
So do you recommend that people actually schedule it? It seems like if it's not on the schedule, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the couples that I work with, one of the prescriptions we give them is you are going to schedule out, just like you would when your business appointment, something else, schedule out Friday evening, Saturday evening, and evening every week, and just plan on being a date night.
So if a couple's out on their date night, how do they go out on the date night and leave the kids and the schedule back at home?
That's a real challenge, or to talk about finances or the stresses of life. And a couple of tricks to be able to focus on that. One is kind of a game that you can play where it's like, this is something that my wife and I do sometimes. It's like all of the little things that annoy me about you, but that I would miss if you were gone.
And how long is this list going to be?
It depends on the day. It depends on what kind of day my wife's had, too.
Yeah.
So,
but that's kind of nice to get the conversation going.
Sure, talk about that, or other things to talk about, or to go back and remember those times. Because couples who stay together, when they look back at their shared history together, they remember the fond times. And so relive some of those times, the times when you went on your first dates and things like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Very good. And once a week is what you recommend then?
I'd say that at least once a week. And then another tool, do I have time to give one more? Is that
one more really quickly.
Okay, it's called the 2-minute miracle. And every day for 2 minutes, I remember you mentioned a long hug last time I was on. It's a long hug where we connect, we talk, we look each other in the eye, and just kind of know that, hey, we're both together in this.
Fantastic.
Very
well,
good.
we seem to be out of time, so I don't know if we can get to the sex schedule, but
we'll talk about that with Libby next time.
I think I said hectic
Put that on the docket.
Because it's hectic schedule. Not good. Okay. Hey,
Thank you.
Tyler, thanks so much for coming in. Our new fitness segment, 6 Figures, is just getting started. Coming up next, we'll meet participant number 4.